Hello humans and animals alike, this is Dylus, and welcome back to Monster Sanctuary. We have saved the Sanctuary and attained the rank of Keeper Master. All that's really left to do, other than the legendary Keeper duels, is complete the Monster Journal. So for this episode, I'm going to explain how to get certain difficult to obtain monsters, then move on to 5-starring every champion monster in the Champion Arena. So first off, if you look closely in the Monster Journal, you'll notice that the journal entries are loosely sorted by area. So the first 4 monsters here are the Spectral Familiars. So yeah, they're already filled in for you as the Sanctuary knows them well. From Blob to Monk, these monsters are located on the Mountain Path, the first area in the game. From Grummy to Specter, they're in the Blue Caves. From Crackle Knight to Beetloid, they are in the Stronghold Dungeon. From Druid Oak to Raduga, they are located in the Ancient Woods. From Ice Blob to Akhlut, they are located in the Snowy Peaks. From Blade Widow to Kanko, they are all located in the Sun Palace. From Dodo to Elderjel, they are located in Horizon Beach. Manticore is all by its lonesome for some reason, a special case. Goblin Miner to Scorch, they are located in the Magma Chamber. From Stolby to the Goblin Pilot, they are located in the Mystical Workshop. From Shockhopper to Brutus, these are also special cases, with Shockhopper, Targot, and Dracozul being additional Snowy Peaks monsters, and Troll and Brutus being additional Ancient Woods monsters. From Mega Rock to Spinner, they are located in the Underworld. The Plague Egg is a special case as well. Setsune, Darnation, and Thanatos are located in the Abandoned Tower. Rainbow Blob, Changeling, King Blob, and Worm are located in Blobberg. Then we have the 5 Super Champions. Then there's the Mad Lord, the final boss. We have Ascendant. And then we have the Forgotten World monsters. Now, some of these monsters aren't found simply by looking for an encounter, and can only be obtained in special cases, which may confuse players when they're simply looking at the Monster Journal to find them. So, of course, you can only have one of the Spectral Familiars, and the others are already filled out since the Sanctuary is familiar with them. Although I will say a spoilery note, so I'm going to flash that on the screen in 3, 2, 1. Okay, you can open your eyes now. So, what about those other monsters? First, I'll go over the monsters that have a champion battle, but can also be found elsewhere in the Sanctuary. Steam Golems are found in the Mystical Workshop. Monks are found in the Blue Caves. Minitaurs are hatched from eggs dropped by Megatars in the Snowy Peaks, and Specter, Qilin, Raduga, and Beetloid are monsters that can be found in the Abandoned Tower. As for acquiring any rare non-champion monsters, first we have the Ninki Nanka. They are located in many parts of the Sun Palace, but you'll only get a Ninki egg from them. You get magical clay only once from a monster keeper at the Tree of Evolution to evolve the Ninki into a Ninki Nanka. And yes, I've been aware this entire time that I have not used the magical clay yet. We'll get to that. The Sizzle Knight is obtained by evolving a Crackle Knight using a Sunstone. There's only one Sunstone to find in the game, and it's in the Sun Palace, fittingly enough. The Koi is at first given to you by the caretaker in the Sun Palace, but more can be found in Horizon Beach. The Tanuki appears randomly in place of another enemy monster once combat is initiated. There's a 15% chance to encounter one in the Sun Palace, which is the highest rate of encounter. So if you want a Tanuki, grinding there is your best bet. That also seems to be why the Tanuki is listed alongside monsters located in the Sun Palace. Tanukis also appear 100% of the time if 50 battles pass by without encountering a Tanuki. Manticorbs are located at the top of the cliff closest to the stronghold in the mountain path. The Scorch is obtained by advancing the Bex side quest far enough, specifically after you defeat Bex in a Keeper duel at the Magma Chamber. This egg is obtained only once. The Shockhopper is obtained by bringing any Dodo egg to Lady Stasis at the Snowy Peaks. Targoats are found beyond the diamond block at the west side of Snowy Peaks. Trolls are located in the darkest areas of the ancient woods. The Plague Egg can be obtained from Razzi's for 6,000 G, so sold only once. Razzi's is located in the Magma Chamber, and it is listed as a $???? egg. And finally, the Bard is given to you by the Wanderer after beating him in a Keeper duel. This egg is obtained only once. Most champion monster eggs and catalysts are one-time only through champion battles, and any extras are only obtainable through reward boxes. There are also some of these non-champion monsters like the Bard, the Plague Egg, and the Scorch that can also only be obtained repeatedly through reward boxes. So, I will put on a screen a list of monsters and catalysts that can only be obtained again through reward boxes, and which boxes they belong to. Reward boxes are easily acquired through grinding in the Infinity Arena or donating to the Monster Army, but sometimes you might not want to do those things, as they are rather difficult or time-consuming. So here are the easiest alternate methods for obtaining reward boxes. Let's see. So, Kois and Imoris have reward boxes level 1 as rare loot. Lava Blobs have level 2 reward boxes as rare loot. Level 4 boxes are rewards for winning battles at Eternity's End. And level 5 and X boxes, not sponsored, are rewards for winning against Godzerker. Unfortunately, level 3 boxes have no repeatable alternate method to obtain, so you would have to grind for them at the Infinity Arena or through the Monster Army. Don't forget that if you're not happy with what you get from the reward boxes, you can close the software without saving to try again. Don't go to a different room, and don't click save and quit here, because that will save what you got from the boxes. If you're playing on PC, use the Alt F4 shortcut, or if you're playing in windowed mode, you can just click the close button on the window. If you're playing on Switch, go to the home menu and close the software by pressing the X button. I don't know how the process of closing software works for PlayStation 4 and Xbox, but it's probably something similar. With all that said, it's time to 5-star those champion monsters. So, I will mention a very popular champion slaying team that involves 2 Fungi and a Troll. I will not be using that team, as I want just a little more variety in my champion battles. But how it works is this. The 2 Fungi and the Troll are dark shifted with the Curse Chain Shift passive. The whole team puts 3 multi-poisons, 2 multi-weaknesses, and a multi-armor break into play, allowing for many debuffs to be applied to one monster. A whopping 5 dominances are put into play, and with Troll's 2 Giant's Banes and Death Blow, the damage dealt can soar to catastrophic levels. Troll has the rare initial armor break plus broken immunity combo, allowing debuffs to be more easily applied from the start. The Fungi's auto heals and the Troll's Recover and Cave Dwellers passives will ensure that everyone is healthy. The Fungi's also have Saboteur's Shield, giving them a shield that can easily generate by applying debuffs. The Troll has access to Healing Shield as well, so its healing passives and Poison Eater will ensure extra protection. Troll's great bulk and its combination of Taunt, Poison Glands, and Hex Touch allows it to constantly apply debuffs even during the enemy's turn. Overall, the team is a mean green debuffing machine that takes advantage of debuffs so well that it can take down most champions in just 2 turns, easily 5-starring or 6-starring champions. I don't really want to do this because I feel like it's just too powerful to be interesting across 27 champions. Not to mention, you can't bring 2 Fungi's in online PvP, so I feel like you're almost robbing yourself of team building experience by cheesing the champions with this team. So I'm going with this instead. The main gimmick is roughly going to be the same, applying as many debuffs to the champions as possible. I'm going to be using Specter, Mad-Eye, and Vasuki, all of whom are dark shifted to focus on debuffs. This team will not work on all champion monsters, but it does deal with about 2/3 of them, leaving some room for alternate strategies for the champions they struggle against. For now though, let's go over this primary team. So, Spectre will usually open the battle with Dexterity, allowing for our monsters to dodge physical attacks, increase crit damage and chance, and more importantly, deal an additional hit thanks to Glorious Spark. It can also rack up the combo counter with Arcane Bolt, or deal explosive damage with Spectral Cannon. Mad-Eye will apply many debuffs thanks to Hex, and it also has Toxic Reaction, which will make it so any shock damage could apply poison, so we could also get an additional poison thanks to debuff mastery. Oh yeah, both Spectre and Mad-Eye have debuff mastery as their Dark Shift passive, so that'll allow for at most 3 stacks of any debuff. Up to 3 stacks of any debuff. So this will include poison, thanks to Toxic Reaction. I also gave it Armor Crush, though I don't think it's really the most necessary. I'd probably give it Mana Plus, another Mana Plus instead. But anyway, let's see. It also can deal a bunch of hits with Proliferate, as well as its 2 mana procs. That way it'll increase the power substantially of the big damage dealer of the team, Vasuki. Vasuki has Death Blow to hit debuffed enemies hard. Let me highlight it. Alright, there we go. So, it can also apply an extra poison and burn thanks to Acid Spit, allowing up to 4 poison and burn stacks at a time. The combination of Taunt and Poison Glands is a bit of a gamble in some situations, but it'll certainly help minimize the exploitation of Mad-Eye and Spectre's magic weakness, while applying an extra poison. Severe upkeep and poison nerves will cripple poison enemies' abilities as well. I also chose to use all 3 of its double strikes to maximize potential damage. I did use a skill resetter from last time on Twin Cobra here. I exchanged Fire Shield for Tackle. Fire Shield was very niche when it came to a lot of the champion battles, so I felt like Tackle was just a much better investment. By the way, notice that all three of these monsters have fatal upkeep. This will make it so poison, burn, and congeal damage dealt to enemies will be increased substantially. It is not a unique aura, so they can be stacked. It also helps that Specter and Vasuki have initial burn, so more damage can be dealt right away. In regards to equipment, the Cauldron is key. This will allow us to have debuffs be more effective. I'm giving it to the Mad Eye here, so it has an increase in mana and mana regeneration. We also have the Hourglass to make Age stacks more effective, allowing Fi to hit harder, and the Shield Generator to use its mana to protect itself. The Spectre will survive well thanks to its 2 critical defenses and its high crit damage, and Vasuki has pretty high health as well. Let's see, for Spectre, I gave it a Hexing Rod so that when it uses Dexterity on its first turn, it'll apply a random debuff. So it's not just going to use its turn buffing, and in some cases buffing for little reason, because there are some monsters that only use magic attacks. So applying an additional debuff will help with Death Blow from Vasuki. I also gave Spectre the Thermal Reactor so that with its Arcane Bolt, it can have a higher chance of applying Burn or Chill, in addition to increasing its crit chance and damage. For Twin Cobra, I gave it the almighty Abyssal Sword. The Abyssal Sword has some impeccable power to it, and when the wielder of it attacks or is getting attacked, they'll gain a random buff or apply a random debuff. This will allow for rapid debuffing, and with its great power, Vasuki will still retain its great damage dealing. I also gave it a Slime Skin so that when Taunt activates, it has a chance of applying weakness, or, it could just be targeted normally. But, yeah, with applying weakness, that is another debuff. So that'll amplify Death Blow as well. And finally, for food, Spectre has raspberries, obviously, for crit damage. Fi has oranges for mana to increase the power of procs, as well as give it a stronger shield at the start of each turn. And Twin Cobra has 2 bananas and a cookie mushroom. The bananas for health are to increase its damage as well as its defense. Though you could theoretically give it all 3 cookie mushrooms, because it'll do some good damage and healing. And if you choose to have Fire Shield, it does good shielding as well. Alright, so I also have some other monsters set up for certain champions, but I'll get to those when they're needed. I didn't want to use too many monsters so as to not overwhelm myself or others wanting to somewhat efficiently 5-star all the champions. With the preparation done, it's time to do just that. As I proceed with the montage, I will tell you what to look out for in each champion and provide suggestions for if you want to experiment with different monsters. After all, one way to hone your Monster Keeper skills is to try out as many team combinations as possible and see what works best for each situation. So, with all that said, cue the montage! Steam Golem being the first champion is very easy. It can be very annoying when it decides to shield every turn, but racking up combo, applying debuffs, and dishing out strong wind elemental damage should take it out quick enough. Vero is excellent with a combination of Featherstorm, Critical Edge, and Cascade. Its weakness to Stone Rain, however, makes it somewhat of a double-edged sword. Monk has access to the elemental punches, giving it excellent coverage. It also sometimes heals itself. The name of the game here is Poison. In the early game, Blob and Fungi are the best monsters to apply poison, and Rocky can hit hard with Leaf Slash. The primary team I'm using has physical resistance, so the Monk's attacks won't do very much damage. Minitaur hits hard by setting up with full offense and using Stone Rain, Slash, or Heavy Punch. Use its high attack stat and fire weakness to deal massive burn damage. It doesn't have it in the early game, but Magma Pillar's burn down will make burn damage incredibly strong. Mix in multi-burn from the Steam Golem and you're on your way to a quick victory. Since it would feel a little awkward using a Spectre against a Spectre, I decided to bring in Pisces the Koi. The Koi's specialty in the Spectre battle will be providing buffs and taking the duty of healing so the Vasuki can just focus on attacking. Its Dark Shift passive, Shadow Proc, will allow for an additional hit, heal, or buff. I also swapped out the Mad Eye's Orb and equipped it with the Summon Sword so it can deal more damage. Spectre casts Ignite to inflict burn, and Flame Strike and Spectral Wave to deal damage on the whole team. Fire and magic resistance is the best way to handle it. While it stinks that Spectre is resistant to debuffs, Deathblow is still going to make Vasuki's attacks pretty powerful. I could have also opted to use my Magma Moth, but again I wanted to limit the number of monsters used across all the champions. Frosty and Tengu are excellent monsters against Spectre thanks to their powerful offensive capabilities. Full offense and spirit strength from Frosty on a 4-mana overload Tengu is a devastating combination. Beetloid likes to stack sorcery with Charge Beam, Enlighten, and Enchantment, and acquires a shield for each buff. Stacking poison with Fungi's and Goblin Warlock's multi-poison is the best way to take it out quickly. Other monsters' wind and magic resistance, such as Yowie and Manticore, will also help. The team I currently have makes short work of this monster. For the Goblin King, the magic weakness my team has and a lack of multi-target attacks makes combat risky, though doable. So I opted to bring a whole new team made for the champion battles involving more than one monster. First, we have Mushbird the Fungi, which will apply and spread debuffs and help the team take advantage of them with its 2 dominances. Its Dark Shift passive is Curse Chain, which allows it to easily spread debuffs to other monsters. Thanks to Life Overload synergizing with its high HP, it deals great damage and has an exceptional auto heal. Its combo game is also excellent with Combo Initiator and Proliferate. Next, we have Wix the Scorch, who will do what it does best, applying buffs and healing. Full offense is excellent on the other 2 team members. With its many crit-based skills that can even activate on healing, it can contribute to the team by allowing more debuffs to be passively applied thanks to hexing support and charged destruction. Cleansing Burn is also a nice bonus. Its Light Shift passive Buff Mastery allows it to stack 2 of any buff to a monster, making its full offense extra strong. Finally, we have Flo, the Dark Shifted Rocky. Sorry Moses, but I didn't feel like leveling you up that much. Rocky is an excellent monster with high defense, cleanse, and 3 defense overloads. And the great thing about Rocky is that it has the Tranquility passive, making all nature and spirit monsters automatically apply a weakness debuff after each action. And the team is entirely composed of nature-type monsters. The onslaught of weakness debuffs will greatly hamper the Goblin King's mighty damage output. The Dark Shift is mainly for more damage. Now, onto the champion battle. The Goblin King has a Goblin Hood and Goblin Warlock alongside it, the former of which starts with casting Glory, and the latter starts with casting Channel. When you fight it at level 30 or higher, it has access to Critical Mass and 5 crit chance pluses, making it extra dangerous. Earth resistance is recommended, so Catcirker, though effective with Long Slash, is a risky pick. Molebear is a safer pick with Earth resistance, Shred, and Impale. For my team, Rocky should use Earthquake to maximize the erasure of buffs. You can also have it concentrate on taking out one monster at a time with Leaf Slash. Either strategy works great. Raduga is tricky because it has the elemental shift trait, able to change its weakness and resistance on a whim. It also has multiple moves that give itself buffs. Luckily, Raduga follows a fixed AI script. The best strategy is to spend the first turn applying as many debuffs as possible. The second turn will have you take advantage of its water weakness, next turn it will be weak to wind, and the turn after that it's weak to fire. This is a perfect setup for both a monk and a manticore. You should also have a monster with cleanse handy, like Grummy or its evolution Garulu. For Akhlut, it's way too risky to bring Vasuki in the fray, so I brought in another monster to replace it. This time we have Silver Barrel the Ornithopter. This monster will specialize in applying many buffs to the party while cleansing enemies' buffs. The cleansing part isn't super important against Akhlut, but since it has Templar, which gives it spell shield and our team lacks physical attacks, it would be good to have a cleanser like an Ornithopter. That said, it's also useful with Chilling Wind, which takes advantage of Akhlut's wind weakness and inflicts chill to minimize the use of its more powerful attacks. Its Light Shift passive, Utopia, gives a small damage boost to all its allies every turn. Champion Akhlut has access to Chilling Cold, a skill it doesn't normally have, so it can apply multiple chills easily with Ice Spear Volley. Ice Blob is perfect against Akhlut due to its ability to apply chill and exploit its wind weakness with Chilling Wind, and its myriad of chill-based skills will greatly weaken Akhlut's ability to damage and heal. Multi-Chill, Congeal, Severe Cold, and Severe Infection are all excellent in hampering Akhlut's abilities. Don't forget to have someone with Restore, though. I would recommend Garulu to fill that role with its water resistance. Qilin quickly shocks and chills with Thunderstorm, though it cannot stack them. Since its weakness is not direct, expect a relatively low execution score. Stack as many debuffs as possible to take it out in record time. My primary team can ace the Qilin fight, but you can also try using Fungi, Goblin Hood, and Goblin Warlock. Kanko evades with 2 dodgings and gains buffs doing so thanks to martial prowess. It also hits hard with Explosive Blast and Cyclone. Rocky is essential with Leaf Slash and Cleanse, and its bulk makes it withstand fire attacks pretty well. Multi-Poison also hampers it, with the best carrier of the skill being the Crystal Snail. My primary team handles Kanko well thanks to the fire and physical resistance and the Mad Eye's ability to cleanse buffs. For Elderjel, Vasuki hates water, so it will be replaced with a new party member, Orcane the Akhlut. Orcane, despite its name, will primarily focus on using Bite as its main attack, with casting Templar on the side to apply Spell Shield, Might, and possibly Sorcery thanks to Duality on all allies. I also gave it situational support for extra buffs and protection when casting Templar. Bite heals while attacking, so it works great in conjunction with Healing Shield to maintain the healthiness score. Finally, I gave it a bunch of crit chance and damage to maximize bleed potential, and bleed stacks won't go away after going into effect thanks to its Dark Shift passive, Bleed Out. Elderjel has Aging, which gives it a 3% boost to damage output, damage reduction, and mana regeneration for each age stack on it, which it will gain 1 after its turn passes. It is also able to remove debuffs with Whirlpool. Shield Burst from an Armtail or a Spectral Cannon from a Mogwai are deadly for this jelly, and Brawlish is also excellent with its many skills that boost its damage output to astounding levels. Asura likes to buff itself with full defense and full offense, then let loose with fire or neutral punches, or Lava Rush. Lava Rush is especially dangerous on a burned target, and it has Kindle to help with applying burn. It can also steal a buff during each attack thanks to its signature Demonic Theft. Multi-chill with Freeze and Congeal will make quick work of Asura, with Frosty, Spectre, and Amori being great candidates. Goblin Pilot has Kindle and Wildfire, allowing it to spread burns to the party and gain charge stacks thanks to Fuel. For the unprepared, Goblin Pilot can hit the party pretty hard, so fire and physical resistance is key, which my primary team has. Frosty, Amori, and Mad Eye are excellent picks with strong chill and congeal potential. Against Dracozul, I went with Fungi, Scorch, and Rocky. Dracozul fights alongside two Draconovs that provide it with buffs, and with two dualities put in play, Dracozul can acquire buffs rapidly. It also gains shields while applying buffs and exploiting weaknesses. Because of this, weakness to water, wind, physical, and magic are not advised. Fungi will focus on applying poison and weakness, Scorch will use full offense to buff, heal, and provide charge stacks, and Rocky will use Earthquake to deal lots of damage to the team of dragons, as well as erase buffs. Another good monster to pick for this fight is Shockhopper as a healer and restorer. Its resistance to water and wind is great against Dracozul, although its attacks won't be the most effective against the dragons. Brutus is probably one of the hardest champions to 5-star due to its lack of weakness and its high damage output. It will act 3 times in one turn. On its first turn, it opens with Power, giving itself 2 mites thanks to Brawn over Brains. It always ends its turns using Power Focus to strengthen its next attack. Chill and Congeal are the best ways to deal with Brutus, as it has poor mana stats, and damage will be greatly boosted with Fatal Upkeep and Severe Cold plus Severe Infection. This makes Ice Blob the ideal partner against Brutus. Once it has 2 or 3 chills, it will likely waste its power focus using a regular attack, making this Ram Gorilla not so mighty. Draconoir frequently blinds its opponents with Shadow Storm, Shadow Grasp, and its Darken passive. Each crit from it will also give it buffs. A healer with Purify will make the battle less annoying, so someone like a Blob, Yowie, or Plague Egg works best. Other than that, there's not too much with this battle. For a late-game champion, Draconoir might be one of the easiest champions. Spinner uses Counterfeit on its first turn to copy an enemy's action against it, making it risky for a monster to use moves with an element or trait that it is weak to, like Spectre's Spectral Cannon. Spinner can also do a mean slash to apply bleed and Poison Bomb to apply poison. Rocky is a great monster to have thanks to Mass Restore and Purify. Tengu and Polterelfin are also amazing attackers to take Spinner out quickly, even more so with their resistance to fire, an element they would use against it. King Blob accumulates buffs with various actions and passives, then on its third turn uses Slime Volley to spread poison. Debuff-based teams are the way to go against this guy, and my primary team makes the fight a joke. With so many fatal upkeeps, Poison, Burn, and Congeal eat massive chunks of its HP. Just don't forget to heal to maintain that healthiness score. Blood Magic can also be a great passive to have for even more damage, though it does have Purify so the bleed stacks won't last too long. Mad Lord wields a variety of debuff moves of the single target and multi-target kind, made dangerous with Mystify and Blood Drive. It is weak to all direct damage, but it has a ton of HP. Use all you've learned as a monster keeper to take it out. While Mad Lord is resistant to debuff damage, the 3 fatal upkeeps make up for it. As it is easy for Mad Lord to spread debuffs across your team, Masuki should focus on using Mass Restore each turn, and the Spectre should be the big damage dealer with Spectral Cannon. Bleed-based teams also work great against the Mad Lord. Elderjel, Spinner, and Setsune are great candidates. Vodinoy makes quick work of Vasuki, so it seemed necessary to bring in a different monster. The last new monster in this montage is Klaus the Nautilid. It uses Charge Beam very well, giving itself sorcery and sharing it with allies. It makes great use of Trickster buffing with a combination of Charge Beam, combo buffing, on-hit debuff passives, and Mystify. It can also make great use of Trickster buffing with Miracle, which also goes excellently with Improved Assault, which increases damage dealt by 3% for each Might, Sorcery, and Glory on a monster. Severe Upkeep plus Severe Infection makes debuffs more powerful, and Darken will increase the team's survivability by a small amount. With 2 critical bases and overloads, its signature Lord of the Deep, and a wide array of attacks that inflict bleed, Vodinoy will make short work of the unprepared. Physical resistance is key, and my primary team mostly has that. I brought in the Nautilid, of course. Specter's dexterity is imperative with this setup. Mad Eye should use Voltage and make use of its Stunned passive to decrease Vodinoy's critical chance. And Nautilid should finish the turn with Charge Beam, hopefully applying a good amount of debuffs. Since the team is all Occult-type monsters, Mad Eye's Occult control works excellently against a greatly debuffed enemy. Akhlut is another great pick with its chill-based skills and water resistance, though it will need some protection against Vodinoy's fiery stabs. Fungi, Scorch, and Rocky are at the helm again versus Aazerach, who has many blind-based skills including Shadow Storm, Shadow Grasp, and True Darkness to apply debuffs on enemies on top of blinding them. Combine that with its signature Spirit World, it will dodge attacks frequently and gain buffs doing so thanks to martial prowess. It also has Concealed, making its dodge chance a whopping 33% on its first turn. This team applies the same strategy as with Dracozul, except swap Earthquake for Leaf Slash, which will completely bypass Aazerach's Concealed passive. Argiope and Ambronia are also fantastic picks for this champion. Argiope is great due to its wind resistance, double cleanse, and multiple poison-related passives. Defensive presence isn't bad to have either. Ambronia also is great with the combination of Purify and Sap Splatter to attack, heal, and remove blind stacks. Diavola always starts its turns with Restoring Shield. It has 2 signature skills. Sprawl allows it to gain a buff after each action, and Thorns gives it a 35% chance for any hit on it to apply a bleed stack equal to the damage taken, making strong direct attacks extremely risky. For other monsters, Lava Blob is excellent with its myriad of burn-related skills, as well as Cleansing Flame to eliminate its buffs. Plague Egg's Mass Restore and Encapsulate plus Purify is also good for survivability. Gryphonix has many burn-related skills, including Igniting Stings, Multi-Burn, and its signature Phoenix Heritage, allowing it to apply burn after each action. Its Aerial Strike and crits give it many buffs, and its Phoenix Affinity and Reborn from Ashes combo makes it ready to fight again after its HP hits 0. Using Multi-Poison, Multi-Chill and Congeal, and Severe Upkeep will cripple its abilities. Severe Upkeep actually decreases the potency of Phoenix Affinity and Reborn from Ashes. Swapping my primary team's Mad Eye with an Akhlut would make an excellent team. Akhlut has Blood Magic and Feast, allowing the party to heal a lot from bleed stacks supplied from Poison and Congeal. Oh, Vertraag. Vertraag is a full-on no-no against the entire primary team. So the monsters taking it on this time would be Ornithopter, Akhlut, and Koi. Together they will buff each other up a lot, inflict bleed, cleanse buffs, and deal a lot of neutral damage. Vertraag's signature Master of Time gives it a head start in power and protection thanks to aging and outlast. It ends its turns using Heat Shimmer or Snow Veil to give itself 3 buffs thanks to its 2 combo buffings. Sorcerer, an ability Vertraag normally cannot have, grants it buffs when exploiting weaknesses and erases buffs with Arcane Diffusion. Ornithopter and Koi are 2 monsters I used against Vertraag in the Super Champions episode, and they handled this guy excellently. Ornithopter should open with Arcane Shield on the Koi to provide sorcery, channel, and possibly might thanks to Akhlut's duality aura. Akhlut should open with Templar to not only give spell, shield, might, and a possible sorcery to the party, but also to activate situational support to give everyone a shield and an extra buff. With the starting buffs, Koi should already be pretty strong and finish the turn with Blessed Strikes. The following turns should have Ornithopter either use Arcane Shield or open with Arcane Diffusion to cleanse buffs if needed. Alternatively, you can use Arcane Bolt or Arcane Barrage to maximize combo and low priority cleansing. If healing is important, have it use a combo potion. Akhlut should follow up with Bite to apply bleed stacks and heal itself, then Koi should finish with Blessed Strikes. As for other monsters, Manticore is also an excellent pick against Vertraag due to its magic resistance, high combo with Arcane Bolt, and massive damage potential with 2 Cascades, Sorcerer, Multi-Sorcery, and Bleed. Fungi, Scorch, and Rocky worked great in the previous champion team battles, and they work great in this one too. Fighting alongside monks, the Ascendant's signature path skills, Path to Valhalla, Knowledge, and Ascension, give buffs to itself and its allies just by being targeted. Cleansing Flame and Cleansing Sidekick allow the team to easily erase buffs while removing debuffs with Auto Restore and Whirlpool. Mass poison damage is ideal, and Toxicus and Tarblob would prove very useful with their poison-related skills. They are risky picks, however, due to their weakness to wind and water, respectively. Imori is another great pick thanks to its Toxic Slash and ability to apply extra hits with Antipode and Double Impact. With full offense, static mass, sorceress, and mighty boosts, and its signature draconic lineage, Dracomer quickly gains buffs as it attacks and uses their acquisition for a shield. It also applies armor break to do the same. I personally found more reliable results using the Ornithopter, Akhlut, and Koi team. In exchange for applying debuffs, the team would acquire many buffs and erase Dracomers. Overall, weakening it with Poison and Bleed is the way to go against this champion. Catcirker, Blade Widow, or Setsune are excellent bleed candidates. Finally, against the Terradrile, I couldn't risk the double strikes kicking in, so I swapped Vasuki out with Scorch, who will focus on buffing and healing. Terradrile's signature ultimate, Ancient Conjunction, gives itself protection, 2 charge stacks, and an Age and Predation stack. With Revenge, Charged Anomaly, and Supercharged, attacking this monster a lot is extremely dangerous. If you must attack it directly, remember the magic number, 15. Supercharge activates at 15 charge stacks and will make its Piercing Lightning potentially fatal. Spectre will open up with Dexterity, as it usually does. Scorch will follow up with a full offense on Spectre, so as to not give Mad Eye the sidekick buff, and Mad Eye will finish with Ignite to apply Burn and hopefully Chill to activate Congeal. Ignite should purposefully not be level 5 to make sure the magic 15 isn't reached. Although I have had times where Proliferate activated too many times and Supercharge activated anyway, so there I would just forfeit and try again. On the second turn, Scorch will do full offense on Mad Eye, Mad Eye should use Acid Rain, and Spectre will finish with Spectral Cannon. If enough chills are applied, it shouldn't use Ancient Conjunction to power itself up. If you really want to cheese this fight, try Yowie, Ice Blob, and Mogwai. The Ice Bolt from Mogwai is perfect against Terradrile, and Congeal will be more dangerous with Sub-Zero and Fatal Upkeep. Also can't beat 2 initial chills and icy skins. So, with all the champion monsters done, in order to complete the monster journal, we're going to have to evolve some monsters. So I went ahead and hatched every single monster that I had, pretty much. And so we're going to use the catalyst to evolve any duplicates. Like, for example, I have this Grummy here that'll stay a Grummy, and I'll also have another Grummy who is going to evolve into a Garulu. You don't have to do this, but I just do it to give myself options. So with that, let's get our catalysts ready. So, first off, I already did this for one of my mainstay allies, but using a cocoon on a magma pillar will evolve it into a magma moth. The cocoon doesn't work for anyone else, though. We can use the magical clay to evolve a Ninki into a Ninki Nanka. So with that, we finally can listen to what this keeper has to say. How beautiful! You used the magical clay to transform your Ninki into a Ninki Nanka. I don't have any other catalysts, but I bet you'll find many more on your adventures through the Sanctuary. Or did you come to hear a general explanation about evolution and how to use catalysts? No, we're good. I wasn't in any rush to do that little side quest because there's no reward to it, other than having a Ninki Nanka, which is a really good monster, I'd say. Alright, let's see. We can use the Sunstone to evolve a Crackle Knight into a Sizzle Knight. Alright, who had the more fitting name? Okay, yeah, the light-shifted one. Ta-da! Alright, next is the Shard of Winter, which we use to evolve a Minitaur into a Megatar. The Silver Feather is needed to evolve a Vero into a Silvero. Let's see. Volcanic Ash is needed to evolve a Glowfly into a Glowdra. The Firestone is needed to evolve a Draconoir into a Dracogran. Oh, right, I have multiple ones. Hang on, let me see here. Okay, so it's you. Just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I named the 5 dragons after the Dragonettes in Wings of Fire. I would like to get into that series. But reading isn't really my strong suit, or rather I just would rather spend my time playing video games. Yeah, I know, I'm an enemy of literacy. Alright, so we need a Darkstone to evolve Draconoir into a Draconoir. We need an Ice Stone to evolve a Draconoir into a Dracozul. And while we're still on the dragons, the Deep Stone is needed to evolve a Draconoir into a Dracomer. Alright, next up we need the Giant Seed to evolve a Rocky into a Mega Rock. You can be the contender for this one, Moses. Oh shoot, I need to actually hatch a few more monsters. Alright. And I guess I might as well do another. Okay, now, the Majestic Crown, I actually do want to think about this, because the Majestic Crown can be used on any blob, but it'll also carry their passives, or their shift passives. So before deciding on that, you might want to take a look at what shift passives there are. Do I have a light-shifted blob egg? Okay, yeah. I kind of like the idea of heal charging. I'll just name you Bob. Alright, so let's use the Majestic Crown to evolve the Blob into the King Blob. We'll use a Primordial Branch to evolve a Monk into an Ascendant. Alright, and I already used the Druid Soul for Fumagus to evolve a Fungi into a Fumagus. So finally we have the Demonic Pact to evolve the Mad Eye into the Mad Lord. And with that, every single monster should be recorded in the monster... Oh. I didn't do Garulu! Whoopsie-doodles! That was embarrassing. There you go. Evolve a Grummy into a Garulu with Stardust. Alright, now for real. We should have every single monster recorded in the Monster Journal. Yep, that's all 111 monsters. So, we get a special reward for that. Let's go see the stylist in the Stronghold. So, wait, what? Hang on a sec. Oh, I think they want me to hatch the Spectral Familiars, too. I actually intentionally didn't do this to avoid spoilers, but, I think I actually have to. Okay, I hatched the Spectral Familiars now. So now do we get the special reward? There we go. We get the Monster Tamer outfit. The outfit of a true monster tamer who has tamed, hatched, caught, evolved, and collected all manner of creatures. And we got some crazy anime hairstyle to go with it. Awesome! So, with that, man, it feels kind of bittersweet to be saying this, but this pretty much marks the end of my Monster Sanctuary playthrough. I may do a Legendary Keeper bonus video as well, but that's going to be pretty well later down the line, as I kind of do want to take a break from this game and do some other playthroughs on this channel, as well as real-life stuff. So, yeah. I do actually plan on doing one bonus video fairly soon, as to how to build a team for Monster Sanctuary, while I don't have any PvP experience, I think I can think of a pretty good way to go about building teams. So you can try out the PvP. Maybe you'd have a good chance at doing those legendary keeper battles. And yeah. So with that, that's it. That's the end of Monster Sanctuary. So, with all that said, next time on this channel, there will be a bonus episode for this, for team building, and then it's going to be Deja Ouch all over again. This is Dylus signing off. See you next time.